Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Happy beginning of your work week. If you got to go to work, happy all that. How's everybody doing? How was your weekend? Good, I hope. Glad to see everybody kind of jumping in here. Appreciate that. Don't forget, while you're jumping on in, make sure you hit that like button. If you're on Facebook, I can say I got a couple of people on Facebook. Thumbs up, please. Appreciate that. How's everybody's weekend? Jump in the chat. Tell me how it was going here. How you fared? Did you have good weather? Automatic Beats, welcome in the house. Appreciate you being here. I'm running very behind the 8 ball today. I didn't even put the information for this stream together until like maybe about 45 minutes ago or so. And yeah, sorry about that. Normally I have everything kind of squared away at least a day in advance, but yeah, not so much today. It's been a very busy weekend for me since the live stream Friday night, and I hope you all joined in on the MMP, the Matrix Money Podcast live stream. If you didn't, there's a link in the description of this live stream. Go ahead and check it out. It was like almost 5 hours long. Yeah, 420, baby. What's that say? 8 ball, you say? Yes, we're gonna let that go. Thank you, Automatic Beats. Yeah, it was a I thought it was a great live stream. We had a lot of people coming in and out, which was great. And yeah, hopefully that'll lead to some more. We had, let's see, who was popping in there. We have plenty of people in the chat, I'll tell you what, right now. But obviously Jar, FF, myself, Paperclip was on there. Brian from Tiny Crypto Blog jumped in. And I'm probably forgetting somebody because Lord knows I had way too much to drink that night. Just saying. Hey, Chris, welcome. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate it. So welcome, everybody. Welcome. I hope your week is going well so far. We're going to cheers with some coffee here this morning. Cheers. Thank you. So the question is, where are we going from here now that the Bitcoin halving is over for another approximately 4 years? You know, I think Bitcoin as a whole has a bright future going forward. And I'm going to touch on a couple of things that I think point to that. And quite frankly, I think that's going to transition over into the cryptocurrency space and a lot of the projects that are here. So what do you think? Put it in the live chat. Appreciate that. If you're on Twitter, remember you can't access the live chat from Twitter, so you got to jump into either YouTube or Facebook. All right, but in the meantime, before we get up to all of that, let's go take a look at the markets. If I can find the right button, we'll go take a look at the markets. There we go. That's good. Let me put up the no not financial advice tab here because, you know, honestly, some people and we're just going to let that go. Anyway, so I just refreshed that. So we're looking at Bitcoin right now at 66,180. It's been kind of fluctuating a little bit. It's kind of, it came back up. It was touching just about 68K there for a while and a little bit back down. And, you know, again, it's, though I think this halving cycle, or excuse me, this bull cycle is going to be different than most previous ones. I think it'll rhyme a little bit. And in that regard, the fact that I think we're going to have a more slow, steady uptick in the price of Bitcoin. And, you know, this action, kind of crabbing action we got going right now in the market is just... you told me to buy Thorchain. Yeah, well, I still think Thorchain's a great buy. But yes, financial advice everywhere, right? Oh my goodness, I love it. All right, let's take a look. Ethereum 31.97. Not bad. BNB still 5.95. I mean, BNB just solid. I'm sorry, it just is. Solana, I know we got a bunch of Solana fans out there, up about 3.5% over the the week, and most of that was within the last 24 hours. 154.66. I know that's way below JAR's break-even point there, but I'm sure Solana is going to climb back up. Cheers. And it's going to be a player, obviously, in this cycle. And there's automatic beats. I was waiting for it. Yes, soul to the moon, baby. All right. Let's keep chugging along here. XRP, definitely need to stop at XRP. Up about 4.5%, 53 cents. Not bad. Doge, we're going to stop in at Doge because I'll tell you, I'm surprised at the strength of Doge here at this point. 16 cents on Doge. Cardano, back up over 50 cents, about 5.5% up over the last 7 days. And again, that's great. I still would have liked to see it go down a little bit more before it's coming back up, and it may yet. We'll see. Sheeb is what it is, up almost 18% if you are a Sheeb fan. AVAX, 2.5% up, 39 bucks for AVAX. Not too shabby. Let's see. Keep going at BCH. BCH, again, for what it's meant to be, use that to buy shit. $510, down 5.5% over the week. Tron still holding steady in that 11-cent mark. Link up almost 6.5%. $15.34 if you ask me. Still a great buy for Link. ICP looking pretty good, up 12.5%. $15.21 for ICP. Matic, I'm telling you, Matic below $1. I don't know, just can't beat it if you're looking to stack any Polygon. 74 cents with regard to Polygon. Litecoin, you guys know I like Litecoin, again, for what it's meant to be, up 5.5% right now, just about $85. And spend your Litecoin, save your Bitcoin. That's the way I look at that. I want to check in on Uniswap because oh crap, I just hit the wrong button there. There we go. I want to check in on Uniswap because we got the Wells notice served to Uniswap. We talked about that in my live streams last week. But look at this. Uniswap slowly coming right back up there, up about 4.5% over the last 7 days at $8 per uni token. I'm liking that. Let's see. Let's keep going here. Stacks, for those who are into the building on BTC thing, $2.89, up 6.5% over the last week. What else we got? Render, for those who are AI minded. We got Render at $9.35, up 5.5% in the last 24 hours. Crazy. Filecoin right below that. Talking 3.5% up over the last 7 days. Again, Filecoin back down, and we saw what it did before the halving. This bull cycle, I think Filecoin is gonna be touching some all-time highs and maybe even going past that, if you ask me. XLM, I like XLM, up almost 4% and still in that 11% mark. Immutable X, up 5.5% in the last 24 hours, $2.27, like Immutable X. HBAR, again, I am a fan of HBAR. Plenty of videos on my YouTube channel showing you how you can stake your HBAR and so on. 5.5%, almost 6% up in the last 7 days, but still under 10 cents. HBAR took quite a hit in the last week. And I'll tell you what, I don't know, buying opportunity if you ask me, especially if you're going to end up staking it, right? VeChain, I like VeChain, but still down almost 8%, 4 cents. Gotta stop at WIF, I guess. It's down to, up to, so about break even, $2.93 for WIF. Caspa, gotta stop there for sure, up 5% in the last 24 hours, back up over that 12-cent mark. Say that 5 times fast. Mark for Caspa. All right, Chuck Danger, welcome. Glad to see you here, sir. Let's keep going with the markets. Pepe, if we got any Pepe fans, look at this, up almost 20% in the last week. Crazy. Let's see, Fetch AI, for those, again, AI minded. up about 3.5% in the last 7 days, $2.43. Monero, I got to stop at Monero. Again, I think privacy coin is going to be a huge thing by 2025. And we're going to talk about the latest bull. Probably not today. That might be on Wednesday live stream. The latest crap from Elizabeth Warren. And speaking of the latest crap from Elizabeth Warren, link to her competitor, John Deaton. For those of you who have been around the space, you are familiar with John Deaton. He is definitely a cryptocurrency advocate. Link to his election campaign site. So if you want to donate to him, and I've already done that, I suggest, no, I don't suggest you do what you got to do, but I'm sure he'd appreciate the donations. Will always be in the description of my live streams until the election, because honestly, Elizabeth Warren's got to go. She got to be hoisted out of the Senate at this point. And I think John Deaton would be a great person to replace her. So again, all that off of Monero. Speaking of Thorchain and Rune, 579. I mean, still a great buy. Up almost 5%, $5.79. We saw what happened with that. I mean, that thing touched over $10. I think lots of good things going to be happening with Rune. Excuse me. Gala is one of those tokens that you can vote for us to DCA into on Crypto on the Rocks every Friday night, 7 p.m. Last week, it ended up being the MMP Bitcoin halving live stream, but this week, we're back to Crypto on the Rocks, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Gala's up 10% over the last 7 days, just under 5 cents. So make sure you tune in. And if you're into the Gala thing, you can definitely vote for that. Beam, another opportunity to vote on the DCA portfolio. Up 6% in the last 7 days, just over 3 cents for Beam. Humongous buy, if you ask me, or buying opportunity. With regard to Beam, Jupe, for those who are using or like the Jupiter Exchange, up 7.5%. I know this is a fave of Crypto Jar. So right there, $1.17. I like Quant, still, in my opinion, great buy for Quant, 107. Algorand, can't beat it. Under 4% up over the last 7 days, still under 20 cents for Algorand. And I don't know what else. Anything else we're going to touch on? I don't think so. Yeah. All right. Yeah. You know what? Let's touch on these last two here. Axie Infinity up almost 6%. Again, another one you can vote for on Crypto on the Rocks Friday night, 7 p.m. And as well as the Sandbox, one of the opportunities to vote for us to DCA into at 49 cents, up over 7% in the last week. All right. That is, as they say, that. And we've got a lot more people jumping in. Appreciate you all being here. If you are not subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button, click the bell icon, click the all. That way you get notified every time I go live and put out great video content, because I'm doing it all the time. I'm on YouTube, Odyssey, all the time. I mean, talking 5-6 days a week. Again, trying to keep you up to date and getting that information out there. And if you haven't already done so, make sure you hit that like button. And if you're on Facebook, which I can see I've got some people on Facebook, make sure that you hit that thumbs up. Appreciate all of you. Appreciate everybody here. All right, so let's get to talking about where are we going from here. I pulled together just excuse me, a little bit of information, and I mean, I've seen some people talk about this already over the course of the weekend, just to, okay, well, previous halvings have done this and so on and so forth, and I get that, and everything, well, up until now, a lot of the cycles had a bit of a rhyme to them, not necessarily a complete exacting thing. And the amount of upside in Bitcoin has slowly gone down, but I mean, the price if you are looking at purely price, obviously all-time highs after all-time highs. Now, I mean, if you've been around the space, you know already, this cycle is already different. It's already different. The normal consolidation and so on that normally precedes a Bitcoin halving event didn't really happen, or at least not the way it has in the past halving cycles. And this is Bitcoin's fourth halving cycle for those who have to, may or may not be new to the crypto space. Cheers, by the way. Got to keep pumping in that coffee. Anyway, and this time we reached all-time highs prior to the halving. So to me, that's just the indicator that this halving cycle or this bull cycle, or after the halving, is going to be different. And think about it also. You've got a lot more in the way of adoption with regard to Bitcoin. You've got the ETFs, obviously. You have El Salvador in the mix. And I know some of you will argue, well, El Salvador is coming in on the last halving. And so, yes, you're correct. But now you've got even more countries and companies, for that matter, DCAing and looking to put Bitcoin, whether it's in their assets as their held assets, or taking it as legal tender. And we're going to look at a couple of those in a few minutes as we get to the end of this, as we talk more about the future of BTC and the cryptocurrency space as a whole. But in this particular article, I'm going to bring that back up there a little bit. It talks about some of the theories going forward with regard to the Bitcoin halving. And here it was talking about the support zone and around that 65K mark, which it did dip below that, as you saw when we were just checking the markets, back up above the 65K mark, or just over 66. And again, it's gonna move around. It's gonna crab around in that in that zone, if you ask me. But I wanted to just kind of read through these two sections right here, and then maybe discuss it a little bit further. And they talk about analysis done by, I'm going to scroll back right here, CryptoCon, and he posted this on X on the 21st, so yesterday. Basically, the analysis acknowledged the traditional belief that the integral halving in 2012 held the utmost significance. Subsequently, Bitcoin adhered to a pattern centered around this pivotal date. However, the most recent halving date presents a departure from the expected trajectory, as it represents the first instance of Bitcoin's price reaching an all-time high before the halving event, like I just mentioned. According to CryptoCon's analysis, Bitcoin's current record highs indicate a divergence from the anticipated pattern. And I mean, do you really need technical analysis to tell you that we've diverged from the pattern? We hit an all-time high prior to, the halving event. That hasn't happened yet in any of the cycles. Hey, Mike, welcome. Good afternoon to you, sir. Glad you could make it. Appreciate you being here. So again, I get it. Some people prefer technical analysis, like the charts, and okay, great. And it has its place. I don't think that that's the end all be all, especially when it comes to Bitcoin with, the technical analysis says it all kind of thing. But then they talk about, well, when will Bitcoin peak? And that was what caught my eye with this particular article. So we're going to look at what they're saying here, and then I'll give you my proverbial 2 Satoshis on what I think. And please tell me if you agree in the live chat, and or what you think where the peak for this particular bull cycle is going to land. So here they're talking about when will Bitcoin peak. So let's just read through this real quick. Initially, prevailing sentiment held that the halving would precipitate a period of consolidation preceding a substantial upward rally, which has been typical in most previous cycles, toward the cycle peak, which was projected for 2025. And I mean, I'm sorry about that. I swapped. Sorry, guys. Anyway, so and you still hear people, and I still think we've got a lot of upward motion into 2025. I really do believe that. But here he's saying, yet the market expert observed that with Bitcoin already attaining new highs, speculation arises regarding the potential acceleration of this cycle, potentially culminating in a cycle peak by the end of this year, conclusion 2024. What do you think about that? Think that's possible? Again, wait, let me put that up there. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, old guy, interwebs. I do think this cycle is going to be different. Now, is it going to be an accelerated cycle? Is it going to be a two-peak cycle? Okay. I do think that the price of Bitcoin is going to go up and to the right, as it were, before the end of 2024. And again, it's a simple supply and demand thing, in my opinion, that's going to cause that to happen. So, yeah, exactly. Mike saying, yeah, 100K. Absolutely. I agree. I think that's a no-brainer to me in regard to, the end of 2024. Now, 2025. I do think that Bitcoin's going to remain in that higher range longer, potentially doing a double top. Now, I know on Friday I was saying 500K. Definitely, I'm not thinking that's going to happen pre-2025. But I do, well, eventually that's going to happen, right? Who the hell knows what the time frame is going to be? I'm not going to sit here and tell you I know, because you know what? Anybody that's telling you that, fooling you full of shit. And yeah, walk away fast. That's all I'm going to say. And that doesn't matter if it's me or anybody else sitting here and yeah, telling you anything. So hold on, let me just get rid of this and bang. Okay. But I do believe that we're going to easily reach six figures by the end of 2024. I think that's a given. Again, simple supply and demand. You've got these ETFs, and honestly, a lot of the inflows to these ETFs hasn't even or the more major inflows to these ETFs hasn't even really started yet. That's coming probably by Q3. And I think that's where it's going to push a price action with regard to Bitcoin up and into that six-figure mark end of 2024. Again, my opinion, not financial advice, just my guess. But again, I think that's going to maintain into 2025, potentially. Like I said, I mean, is it going to go up? Is it going to go down? Of course, price action is what price action is. But I'm also thinking that the degree of volatility is going to decrease a little bit in this particular cycle. And that's, again, I see it as the simple culmination of a supply and demand thing. So I don't know. What do you do? I don't know. I'm going to keep DCAing and go from there. Will I stop DCAing? My intention is no. Will that change? Potentially. I mean, got to read the cycles as you read the cycles. So what was some of the other effects of the Bitcoin halving? Well, we had the whole runes thing hitting, and hold on, I just want to here it is. And we also had fees go crazy. I mean, I guess there were fees topping $128 at one point. and have kind of continued higher fees continuing through the weekend, although they have dropped back a little bit at this point. And yeah, right. Oops, sorry. Let's get that back there. Just to give you the TLDR here, total miner revenue is currently about triple the pre-halving level. The spike in network fees indicates a level of developer interest in Bitcoin. I guess I agree with that. And the broker expects 15% of miner revenues to be network transaction fees on a sustainable basis. Now, remember, the idea is that eventually, as the block reward subsidy continues to be cut in half approximately every 4 years, that eventually it would be fees that would be incentivizing the miners to continue to secure the network. And so, yes, I see fees increasing now. Or in this article, they posit 15% of miner revenues. I'm not sure that it will be that high in this particular cycle. Tell me what you think in the live chat. I'd be interested to know. But is it possible? Of course it's possible. There's increased interest with regard to building other stuff on Bitcoin and so on. And again, remember, as far as pricing is concerned, with regard to the price of Bitcoin, the interest, the rollout, the reaching out to the boomers, as they like to say, and getting access to those funds coming in is just going to continue to increase. It's just going to continue to increase. And, that doesn't stop naysayers. And to that point, I've got to bring up this tweet. And I probably shouldn't even bring up the tweet because, you know what? It's like promoting an idiot. But anyway, here you go. Peter Schiff. I swear to God, if this guy did not talk about Bitcoin, he would literally have nothing to talk about. I mean, he sits there getting all, hot and bothered over, a minor increase and I'm saying minor in the grand scheme of things, on the price of gold. And hey, listen, I'm all about the price of gold going up. I think that's a good thing. I think it's just indicative of the economic instability that we have across the globe right now. And I think, frankly, the price of gold is going to continue to go up. But when you put gold on the side of Bitcoin in price action, I'm sorry, for every drawback that Peter Schiff points out here with regard to Bitcoin, it's like it still ends up coming out ahead of gold. I'm sorry, it just does. And I'm all about diversifying the portfolio. Matter of fact, I got a link in the description of this live stream about diversifying your investment to gold, precious metals, that kind of thing. Every video I've done about that or live stream where I've talked about that, it's in that playlist. So go ahead and check that out. Links in the description of this live stream. I DCA into gold. And if you're interested in DCAing into gold, link to do that with Acre Gold is in the description of this live stream as well. Basically, for me, $50 a month, and they ship it right to my door. Winner, chicken dinner. Anyway, back to this. So the cost to complete a Bitcoin transaction is now $128. Let's highlight that so you can see that. And it takes a half hour to process. This is another reason why Bitcoin can't function as digital currency. The cost to actually use Bitcoin as a currency is prohibitively high for almost all transactions. It's a failure. And then a little later on, he goes right here and he's talking about that it's now over an hour to process a transaction on the base layer of Bitcoin. And now, I'm sorry, anybody who's used the Bitcoin base layer, especially during times when the mempool is all kinds of clogged up, we've seen the higher fees. We've seen the delayed transaction times. Again, Bitcoin isn't meant to replace Visa. It's meant to replace central banks. And I think it's funny that he points this out Because if you wanted to send gold, $128 transaction fee wouldn't get you to open up a vault. Sorry, just wouldn't even. Cheers, by the way. So I just think it's funny. This guy, now he has a lot of good views with regard to the way the government is doing things or not doing things, as it were, and the economic processes and his evaluations in that regard are, for the most part, pretty good, my opinion. But he only stays relevant, in my opinion, because he continues to harp on Bitcoin. I guess you got to do what you got to do in order to stay relevant, right? But anyway, I just wanted to point that out. I thought it was interesting coming from Peter Schiff. But now listen, the question again that was the impetus of this live stream is, so where are we going from here? What's the future looking like for Bitcoin? And by extension, the cryptocurrency space, because I'm no Bitcoin maxi by any shape or form of the imagination. But I do believe Bitcoin's going to just lead the way. It is what it is, right? I mean, number one cryptocurrency. It's the one that's out there right now. It's the one getting all the ETFs. It's the one that is being adopted by countries and companies and so on and so forth. So I get it. Not, poo-pooing that at all. But I do believe that there will be other players in the cryptocurrency space that will have their day in the sun, for lack of better regard. But to get back to Bitcoin, I saw this tweet and he breaks it down a little bit, which is why I chose this tweet, because it was out there about on a couple of different Twitter profiles and so on. But let's look at this one. So basically, the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, is basically now saying that, yeah, you know what? Bitcoin may not be a bad thing for, maintaining your wealth. And now I forgot to add this link into the description of this video, so I apologize for that. It was, I had to get that posted and I forgot this link. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put it in the live chat right now. So if you want to go and check this out on Twitter, you can. There it is. It's in the live chat. Go ahead and check it out for yourself. But I just find it funny that the IMF, who is sitting here basically all over El Salvador for having Bitcoin as legal tender, is now like, shit ain't looking good. Maybe you need Bitcoin. And so let's break this down real quick. The first point. And now this is, as he points out here, this is coming from a study that the IMF did, because, they like spending money doing stupid studies, kind of like our government. Anyway, the study provides evidence that increased Bitcoin activity occurs as investors move away from risk assets and supports the findings of other studies that Bitcoin can be used to hedge global uncertainty. So I think those of us who are here have probably already figured that out. And again, not just Bitcoin. And okay, every Friday night, Crypto on the Rocks, 7 p.m., I try to show you how you can dollar cost average into cryptocurrency to create a good wealth, increase your wealth and a good stability to maintain wealth with as little as $25 a week. And 15 of that 25 always goes into Bitcoin because, again, it's the leader here at this point. The other 10 you guys vote for, so make sure you're joining me 7 p.m. Eastern time on Crypto on the Rocks. Bring in the weekend. Come on. We can talk crypto, and no matter what, you get to vote. So, excuse me. The fact that, most of us here are already aware of the fact that, you need to have what would traditionally be a risk-on asset in the form of Bitcoin, for example, as your means to help maintain your wealth during what is going to be furthering uncertainty in the global economics, not just in the United States. I know I focus a lot on the US, that's where I'm at. So and most of my followers are in the US, but I love my other followers, appreciate all your input. Mike, I know you're here. Thank you. Appreciate you. And so we already know that. But the idea in this case, and I think as it goes forward with, is that we need to continue to educate the general public with and two things like Bitcoin and cryptocurrency as a means to maintain their wealth and honestly be outside the system when the system just shits the bed, or if the system, when the system transitions over to CBDCs. So to point number one that they're coming to here, yeah, we kind of already figured that out for those of us who are here. Let's continue to point number two. The study concludes that people appear to be turning to Bitcoin to flee instability in their local economies and currencies and to circumvent capital controls. Okay, so I agree. All of those points, we just kind of talked about them. Local economies. You've got, and we talked about in previous live streams, how, you've got people in countries whose economies and currencies are just a pile of shit at this point, who are looking to do and use USD. In the case, so what do? They use USDT on Tron because Tron's about the cheapest network, and they have the purchasing power of the US dollar because as bad as it is, it's still better than their currency, and they're able to do it on the cheap by using the Tron network versus like an Ethereum network. So we've already seen that happening in local economies, and we've talked about that happening in local economies, and we talked about that because of the status of their currencies. Now, to circumvent capital controls, well, that's their way of still maintaining the fact, well, we got sanctions on this country, that country, whatever country, and they're using Bitcoin and cryptocurrency to get around those sanctions. And you know what? I'm sure that's true. Hey, 100 Air, welcome. Appreciate you being here, my friend. Good morning, sir. And yeah, so that is, yeah, given winner. I'll take it. That's true. And he breaks each of those down here. So if you want to go and read this particular breakdown on your own, link is in the live chat. Again, sorry, I forgot to put it in the description of the live stream here. Sorry about that. Let's look at point number 3, the final point we're going to go over right here. The findings highlight that Bitcoin flows are typically larger in emerging and developing. Let's try that again. In emerging and developing markets like Argentina. Wow, what is wrong with me this morning? Cheers. Like Argentina and Venezuela, as compared to with more advanced economies and sophisticated financial markets. I mean, again, the U.S., for example, doesn't feel all the volatility and increased inflation rates like they do in Argentina and Venezuela. I mean, a Venezuelan currency is just, you can burn it to keep yourself warm. That's about where it's at there. So to that point, again, that's correct. Emerging and developing markets, especially in Africa, are utilizing Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies in order to access a global economic system. 100 Air asking about the Baileys and the coffee. I cannot confirm nor deny that, sir. But regardless, I don't know. I just today has been one of those behind the 8 ball days, trying to get stuff done. So this is just adding to it right here. So again, link is in the live chat for this particular tweet, and a link to the actual report that they did in order to, to otherwise see the effects of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency across the globe is in the live chat. So go ahead and check that out at your leisure. And to me, it's just, I'm sorry, it's just a given. And again, I know a lot of us here already kind of know that. And so I appreciate your patience with my 2 cents with regard to this. But I also know that I have a few people here who are watching right now who are relatively new to the space. And, it's good to get that bigger picture to things with regard to the global economy, local economies, etc. So, and then how groups like the IMF in this case, who are again all over El Salvador for having Bitcoin as legal tender, and now putting out a paper basically like, maybe it's not a bad idea to have some Bitcoin because of economic volatility. Like, duh. That's all I got for that. Duh. Yes. Yes. Automatic breach. Yep. There we go. All right. So there's one more thing I did want to hit on, because again, playing to the point of where are we going? What's the future? What can we think about moving ahead? And this, and again, I know we're talking primarily Bitcoin here, is moving more and more mainstream, if you ask me. And to that end, here is this article. And hold on, let me get rid of that. About a nonprofit organization in Switzerland trying to get signatures, 100,000 signatures, to get on the ballot to require the Swiss Central Bank, Switzerland Central Bank, to put Bitcoin in their reserves. It just continues. People are understanding that fiat currencies, and at the end of the day, correct me if I'm wrong, but as I recall, Switzerland was the last country to come off of the gold standard, which is why their currency is actually, as fiat currencies go, relatively strong still, because they haven't had the time for it to wear the hell down. But now they do still have a fiat currency like everybody else in the globe, and you've got people in the country saying, okay, we need to do something, and Bitcoin is that something. And it goes on here. Basically, it tells you the guy's name from the news outlet, and the founder of it's, and I'm not even going to try this name because, yeah, I'm just not. Founder of 2B4CH, which is a nonprofit organization that says Bitcoin should be added to the central bank's reserves. And what do you think about that? Frankly, I don't disagree. The Fed should probably do that, but that's a whole nother issue right there. The idea that you've got people in a country looking to get a referendum in an election to force their central bank to put Bitcoin into the reserves of the bank, of their central bank, to me shows the move forward for Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency space. My opinion. So, and again, a lot of this from all the recent hype of Bitcoin in the news. Now, ETF news, obviously, that came beginning of the year, the halving news that just came. I mean, that hit so much mainstream media that the idea and name Bitcoin is becoming more understood and accepted across the globe. Now, you're going to have people forever that will just not accept it, will just be like, yeah, okay, Ponzi, blah, blah, blah. It whatever. It reminds me of the meme, you buy Bitcoin at the price you deserve. That's the way I look at that. But through Bitcoin, I think we're going to see greater adoption. I think we're going to see greater crypto adoption. And I really do believe there'll be more, such as Ethereum ETFs and so on and so forth, coming forward. Again, I don't think that's happening this year per se, but I do see it happening within the next couple of years. So that's pretty much my live stream for today. Wanted to get all that information out there, kind of start you thinking that, okay, well, halving's over, hype, and all that kind of stuff. And where are we going from here? My 2 cents, 2 Satoshis. So that's it for today. What am I doing for the rest of the week? Tomorrow, live on the Matrix Money Podcast channel. If you haven't already subscribed, link to do that is in the description of this live stream. Myself, Jar FF, should be on live at 10 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow. What are we talking about? I don't know. Don't got a damn clue. But we'll be talking about something. Wednesday, I will be live. My plan at this point, bar some other news topic that needs to be addressed, is to talk in greater detail about the latest crap spewing from the lips of Elizabeth Warren. Thank you, Automatic Beats. Appreciate that. And yeah, how she needs to get the holy hell out of the Senate. Just saying. Thursday, I'm not sure what video is going to drop. I'm in the process of editing a couple of different videos, so we'll see which one gets done first. And then, of course, Friday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time, Crypto on the Rocks. Come on, join me. You can come on live. We'll talk crypto and whatever it is you want to talk about crypto. And don't forget, you get a chance to vote on what we're going to dollar cost average into for the week. Web3, P2E. Those are amongst the options we're using first half 2024. So that's going to do it for me today. Appreciate you all being here and sharing some of your Monday with me. I look forward to seeing you guys again soon. And I hope you have a great rest of your week and a great rest of your day. And hopefully I'll see you all tomorrow on the Matrix Money Podcast. All right. Have a great day, everybody. Take care.